everyone, welcome to episode 13 of Ask Marc. Some interesting questions this week, and we're going to keep this one short just because we're right in the middle of a beta right now, so we only have a limited amount of time before we have to go back and carry on with the beta. So getting right into it. C-Web, who's a very active poster on our comments and forums, he asks, will we be able to import our own music into World? So this is interesting. A lot of people have asked about this.
Definitely. So talk to Joel. He's one of our senior audio artists, and definitely something we'd love to do. Again, it's one of those things where we have such a huge backlog of priorities and feature work to get in. It's one of those things that I don't feel it's right on the top of the list, because we still want to give you guys more game modes and more social features, etc. It's one of those things that I think after launch, looking down the road, hopefully not too much in the near future, we'll get.
Yeah, but you know, the way that I see it is like, we can put a custom player in and kind of bump some other stuff down, but like you said, it should be low on the priority list, because bottom line, we're a PC game. Bring up some audio program behind it and listen to your own music by doing that, but at the same time, maybe eventually we'll take a look at this, but there's a lot of other stuff that we want to get in first.
There's workarounds around that for now, and that's something that we're weighing out. The biggest thing is we want, you know, more game modes and all that, and basically taking their feedback and your feedback and looking into some of these suggestions that you have is the biggest priority.
Cool.
Keep expanding.
Sweet. Next one is from Airtime. Is Ask Marc going to continue after World gets released on 7/20? That's a great question.
Yeah, so basically, I would love to keep doing it. If there's questions, I love having the open dialogue. It's been great. You know, it's over a couple months we've been doing this, and it really started out as one or two videos just answering questions, and we've been, you know, flooded with all the questions. We still haven't gotten to them all. So after we launch, I'd love to keep the open dialogue. The more you guys want, basically this is set up so you guys have an inside direct communication channel to the dev team. We're on the floor live every time we shoot this, so you know, it's almost we like to bring you guys right into the floor and open up the floor. So
a few weeks ago we said that as long as you guys keep asking us questions, we'll keep giving you guys answers. We're going to be working on World for a long time. There's a lot of stuff to come, a lot of stuff they haven't seen. So there's definitely some questions to be answered. So I would say yes.
And for my willingness part, of course, I'll always free up my day to answer and add clarity whenever possible.
Cool. Next one is from Brett C. And he asks, are we going to see muscle cars similar to Carbon, Pro Street, and World?
Short answer, 100%.
Yes.
Muscle cars are one of my favorite in the game because it's a little bit more challenging to drive, slidier. Definitely looks the most showy when you can actually handle those and play with them, because they are a handful. So definitely you'll see them equivalent to those titles.
Cool. Now would you consider your Venom muscle car?
I definitely consider it. I know it handles more like I wouldn't say more like it's a muscle car.
It's a beast.
It's a beast.
We'll leave it at that.
Any 500-600 horsepower that does a couple hundred miles per hour is a beast. Yeah.
Speed freaking out. In private matches, will it be possible to choose rules for them, like no power-ups?
So
we talked about this like in episode 4. I think talked about the ability to set rules and having no power-ups, and I'll start off answering these questions by saying anybody could choose not to use power-ups. You can go with your buddies and choose not to use power-ups, but in terms of number of laps and stuff like that, no.
It's definitely, as the feature becomes more and more involved, and as we get your guys' feedback, we'll look to put in maybe those type of filters and those type of rule sets. The very initial implementation of private matches, we just want to get you and your 7 buddies playing, number one. After that, everything else, we'll look into it for sure.
Cool. All right, last question is Grim. Him and Brett are actually both from Woke Garage, so shout out to you guys. Says, if World will have crews, will it have cities, territories owned by crews like in Carbon? So this is an interesting question, because we were actually talking about crews this morning. So
yes. And we had a huge design meeting on Friday about this and what the feasibility is to bring it to you guys. And definitely, you guys are shouting for it. We want to bring it to you. At the very least, we're looking at how do you and your friends brand each other as a crew. Number one, you guys want to be rolling around the city, racing as a team, right? Yeah. After that, of course, we'd love to have the initiative of you guys, gaining rank, gaining power, having head-to-head combat against, you know, other crews. Not to say, again, I'm almost talking more design right now.
Yeah.
It's not a feature that we've locked down. It's just we're in brainstorming. So could this technically, I asked you on Friday, I said, hey, what is community screaming for with some of these features? And Cruise was one of them.
Yeah.
We're looking deep into it. So if you guys have feedback on what you guys want on Cruise, send it our way. Send it to Drew, because it will definitely make it into the brainstorming session. We had a whole whiteboard filled with ideas. So we'd love to hear.
I think this is kind of an interesting topic, because one of the things that we want to do is we want to start developing some tools to give the players to kind of develop their own sort of competition. So if you want to do some sort of a territory battle or crew management or something like that, could we give you a tool that would allow you to do that? Now, I think this is kind of a cool thing that we go into next week with, saying, okay, how about we do a theme next week, and we'll get you guys' questions from this one specifically, saying if we could build some tools for you that would allow you to create your own sort of competition between you and your friends, what tools would those be? What could we build for you that will allow you to build stuff? So how about we go with that for next week?
Let's do that.
Okay.
I can't stress enough, the beautiful thing about a game like World is basically it's a live development. It's the game's going to go out live after we launch, and we'll be developing it in parallel. So the more feedback we get from you guys, the more chance it will get into the game. It gets on the whiteboard, and if it gets on the whiteboard, there's a high probability it's going to get in there.